Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite podcast. If you're listening, tuning in, watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, August 4th. What in the actual fuck? Goddamn, I hope you are making the most of every day as much as you can. I just saw, we got Rupee here with us. He's in the corner. I just love that guy. So, man, absolutely fucking horrendous things are happening in the world. They've been happening, but like it just keeps going. And we are living through a literal genocide, like in Gaza. Like there's no denying it. People, kids are being intentionally starved. Like, and I get it, bad characters on both sides. This is not a time for whataboutism. Right now, I'm focused on the starving kids. I'm focused on the starving people, and you know, we get just that's like inundated with these images, and then it's like, go post on social media about your new offering. You're like, what the fuck? I don't have a solution to any of it all, about any of it at all. And actually, I got a message from a client the other day, and what I shared with them, I will share with you. And it's something that I shared before, that you know, you have to also make sure that you're leaning into life right now. It's definitely not about putting your head in the sand. Absolutely fucking not. It's about the both and of one, like your sadness and being and thinking that you're supposed to be sad and just always be sad doesn't help anything. All right, so sad for the sake of sadness because you're like, I'm supposed to be sad. That does not change anything. And the flip side, the other side of that is that you got to give yourself energy to fight. And a reminder of what the fuck you're fighting for. Go spend time with your family and your kids and outside and all the things that we're so fortunate and privileged to have. Go fucking enjoy it so that you're like, yeah, I want to fight for this and I want other people to be able to experience it too, if that's what they want, right? You got to have that. Right? I have literally just thrown myself into my other podcast that I'm starting, that new project, if you will, ChatGPT Curious. And there's definitely, I don't even want to say there's dissonance, but it's just like, yeah, I am discussing a new technology that has many problems as people are dying and rights are being stripped and things are, you know, people are being stolen and kidnapped and things are just bad in general. And it's like, yeah, I am doing that because that shit gives me life. Like I feel I've gone to bed at 3 a.m. 2 times in the past week because I was working on stuff, and I'm up right now. It is 7:24 p.m. on Monday. I recorded an hour-long podcast this morning for ChatGPT Curious. It took me about a week to put together that episode. I was doing research on it. I was up till 3 a.m. last night, and you know, I'm fine today. Like I have energy. I have, you know, excitement about this, and I just had to lift it. Came back in. I went to the dentist today. I will be writing my weekly newsletter after this. Like I got energy to do stuff, and that's because of that. Throwing myself into things that bring me joy and bring me light. And that is my suggestion to you too. It's the both and of do this so that you can go do that. Do this so you have the energy to say that. Do this so you have the energy to, you know, talk to that person, stand up to that person, whatever it is. So, yeah, I got no answers, just my own experiences. But talking about the podcast, sharp pivot here. Talking about the podcast, it officially launches on Thursday. ChatGPT Curious, my new podcast, and I would love if you checked it out. I've been working like crazy on it. And I fucking love it. I'm really proud of it. I got 2 episodes recorded and a teaser. I think I will put out a third. I typically recommend that when people start a new podcast that they put out 3 episodes, like so you can binge it. But my first 2 episodes are pretty long. I think the first one is like 40 minutes, and it's just what you actually need to know about ChatGPT, like providing a foundation for it. The second one is the environmental concerns from energy, water, and carbon emissions, because those are, you know, people be asking about that. So that episode's just about an hour, and so I'm like, I will be putting them out every Thursday. And so I don't know if I'm going to do 3. We'll see. But I'm really fucking stoked. And there will be at least 2 episodes out. So check them out. As of today, that this launches, the teaser is up. The website is up. I've been talking about it. If you haven't checked it out, would love for you to do so. But that new podcast is actually the inspiration for today's episode. And it's something that I teach in general, but I'm not sure that I've ever covered on this podcast, which is test it first. And that could actually apply to the microphone as well. I'm saying that because I'm like, oh, I actually didn't do a sound test today. I always do a sound check didn't do it. I'm looking, if you're watching the YouTube, you see me looking around because I have 2 screens going, and on the second screen I have GarageBand, and I can see the sound waves. So I'm pretty sure. I know it's recording something. Hopefully it's recording from the microphone and not from the fucking studio display mics. But let's actually do a little test. Yeah, no, that's on the microphone. That's how you can do a test, people. I'm not cutting that out either. Thank you, Courtney. Leave it in there. You tap on the mic and then you can see the sound waves. It's the best way to test that you're actually coming out of that thing. But what we're actually talking about with Test It First today is, I speak about ensuring demand before you create something, but once you've created it, test it out before you finalize it, right? So I want to think about this and talk about it in 2 parts. One, before you write the thing, before you make the episode, before you record the episode, before you record the video. If this is a big thing, consider discussing it with somebody and seeing what they say and what questions they have. Right? And I'm not talking about asking them what they think about this. Just talk to them about it and see if they understand it, or if they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, see how they interpret it and what questions, they have and how they interpret what you're saying. The second aspect of this, we'll just say example of this would be if you're thinking about making a DIY course. I know we're talking about DIY courses, but I'm like, fuck it, we're talking about it. If you're thinking about making a DIY, do-it-yourself course, consider running it live first as like a webinar or a workshop. I talk about this all the time, and I don't think I've talked about it on this podcast, but you'll see what people get stuck on. You'll see what sticks. You'll see what you need to expand on, and then you can change it for the actual recording. So it took me like about a week to write the outline. Now it's 8 pages, single space, for episode 2 of the new podcast. That's, like I said, all about the environment. Well, the episode is all about the environment, not the whole podcast. But discussing it with Lex was really helpful. So, this is over the course of a few days. Like, just at nighttime, I would talk to her about it. And it kind of prolonged the process a little bit, but in the best way. Because I was able to see that the analogy that I had come up with that like really worked in my head and like allowed me to understand it. Actually, I did this for 2 episodes, but the analogies that I had come up with, I'm like, this is really helpful for me. And then she was like, I like not understanding. And I was like, that's not a good, it's not a good analogy then. Like, it's helpful for me to understand it. And now what else can I do? How else can I say this and explain it so that she gets it? So I did it actually now that I think about it, just for both episodes that I had recorded. I know that different people learn differently, and you could say, well, she just learns differently, and like keep the analogy. But Lex is very smart, very intelligent, and if it's not landing for her, I'm like, I got to revamp this thing. Like, I want it to land for as many people as possible. So Rachel Strickland, my girl, we all love her, right? She has I think it's a post. I don't know, maybe it's a Patreon thing. I don't know. In my mind, it's a post that she did that speaks about the importance of keeping some things close to the chest, and I totally agree with that, right? If you let that shit out too early and to the wrong person, it can shatter you, because they'll just be like, that's bad, or like, what is this? And you're just like fucking crushed because this is like your baby, so precious, right? The difference between that and what I'm talking about is sharing it once you are ready. And also, like Rachel recommends, being mindful of who you are sharing it with, right? So in general, I recommend, or I should say, I advise against, I was going to say recommend against, we don't say that. I advise against having your first online product be a self-paced course, unless you have a big audience and they're super bought in, or decent sized audience is super bought in, and you've established demand, and that's what they want. They're not trying to show up for anything. Like, okay, but 9.9 times out of 10, I have my folks do something live first, run a simple 60-minute workshop, 90-minute workshop, and then turn that into a self-paced course. Right? Often you'll want to re-record it afterwards, like after you run the live thing, but also sometimes no. It really just depends on what you're doing, how you recorded it. I tend to, have a lot of audience engagement and be asking the audience a lot of things, which is tough to like watch as a replay, not live, and watch it, as a self-paced course. So I usually re-record it, or I can just cut the pieces out. Depends on how much of it there is, and also what I'm selling it at. As if I'm just selling it as a recording, it's like, then what's done is done. You have the option there, but I do suggest run these things as a live workshop first. You just get the buy-in, you get the information, and then you can make this into a more robust self course. Even if you run it as like a live multi-week thing, and then you turn to self-paced, that's totally fine as well. But you'll get the feedback. right? You'll get the information as to what needs to change, what to double down on, what to explain, what to expand on. Super, super helpful. Right? To me, overall, it's just a fantastic way to not only get feedback and clarity, but to also prove to yourself that you know this shit. Like, that's the most important person to convince is yourself. And you're like, oh yeah, I do know this. And if you can't explain it, then you're like, all right, it's cool. I stumbled there. Let me go learn that. Like, I had some, metrics and stuff in the episode I recorded, and I was like, let me go like reread them. I know that I'm going to be doing the podcast episode off of, an outline, but still, like, let me make sure that like I really have a grasp on this, which was really, really helpful, at least for me. So we know that, teaching is one of the most integral parts of learning something. So it's like, teach people before you go and teach people, right? It really just allows you to get the things clear in your head. Are people buying shit right now? I have no idea. I'm not selling anything. Yes, I'm sure people are buying things, but I am not selling anything. Yes, people are stressed. People are concerned about money. People are feeling some kind of way. People are also doing summer things, and especially here in the Northern Hemisphere. But this is why I speak about corralling attention first and ensuring demand before you go to sell anything. So just like make sure people want it. If no one says they want it, they're not doing anything right now, then fucking cool. Wait and then look to sell it later. But this episode really just to emphasize the value of testing things out first. Talk it out with somebody, teach what you know. Flip side of that, or, complementary that, consider running a live workshop first before turning something into a self-paced course. There's just so much value in teaching it before you set it in stone. So that's all I got for you today for the teaching side. I didn't do life updates. I'm realizing. I've literally just been, my life updates is I've literally just been in the computer, in the files, doing all the things to get the new podcast, new website off the ground. So please, again, go check it out. I tell you folks all the time, if you believe in something, when people do something, ask them, celebrate it. You got to be your own best hype person. So I am hype. Would love for you to check it out. ChatGPTcurious.com. The podcast is also called ChatGPT Curious. Go subscribe to it. But spent last week, and I think I told you on last episode because it spanned across like a weekend. And so I'm pretty sure I already said this, but I got to spend quite a long time with my mentor, Allison, and her 3 kids, Addie, Liam, and Gray. They were here for Addie's tournament. And it was just so awesome. Like, it was really, really awesome. I'm sad that they're gone, and it's great to have them here. And it gives me like the same kind of feeling as Gestad, where we were with Kim and her husband, KB, like for a week. Even though we didn't see them every day. Like, we did see them every day, but we wouldn't hang out with them every day. Like, we were there and like doing different things as well. But, you just get close with people so quickly, and then you're just sad when you're apart. You're like, man, you're gone. Like, you're just not around. Like, I'm so happy to be home, and I love my life. I love our life so much, but I was just like, oh yeah, she's gone. To me, it is pretty cool how quickly you can get used to having someone around. And definitely, speaking of Gestad, I really do miss it. Like, we'll see if it becomes an annual thing. That's definitely in my head. Like, my homie Mel, I know she'll listen to this. You're the best. She sent me a picture. She's on vacation. And she sent me a picture from like one of the European stores, and she was like, is this a protein drink? And I was like, it's not the one, but it was one, the one that the picture she sent me, though. I was like, those are drinks I looked at as well. And it just like took me back to being in the store. And I did send her the chocolate milk protein shake thing. I was like, this is the one though. If they have it, you should buy it. But just looking at it, I was like, take me back. The other day, I found myself just looking at the pictures, and I was like, take me back. I never do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm so happy to be here, but I was just like, wow, there's something about it. Even though the people weren't that nice. Like, I'm not going to lie, they were not that friendly. Actually, they'd say they weren't that friendly, which is fine. But, I do believe that humans, we're not great at identifying exactly what is making us feel a certain way. And I do try to make it a point to be like, why do I feel this way? Whether it's sad, happy, whatever. And in this case, I'm like, what is it? What am I missing? Like, I'm just like, I want to go back. And I'm like, was it the place itself? Because it was amazing. Was it that it was warm for a bit? Like, it was hot, actually, for a few days. It was hot. So I actually texted Kim. I was like, is it hot there every year? Is that a fluke? And then she was like, it's usually like California, which it's cold here, folks, at night, especially. So I was like, that definitely contributed to it. I went in that stream. Like, I'm not going in that stream if it's cold. Was it the volleyball? Definitely. To be up that close to, international players that I have never seen him play live before. Was it having Kim and Kibby there? For sure. Was it meeting the other players and we got to stay with them and then actually got to meet Mel and Brandy, and meet up with Nicole, their physio? Was it the electricity of center court? We're dancing around. I put a thing up in my stories the other day because it was pretty cool. There's a Gestad for that actual tournament. They has its own Instagram page, and then they just all year long they're putting stuff up. And they did a drone footage of one of the songs. They play a bunch of different songs. They have a lot of audience participation, and they did a drone, and it's the Johnny Depp song. And I was like, oh, we have a video of me and Lex doing this. Him was standing behind us and he took a video of it. And I was just like, I put them up, one after the other. And I was like, this was just so fun. It was so fun. And was it the electricity to that court? Was it the chocolate milk protein drink? Probably. It was delicious. It didn't make me feel bad at all. Was it the cheese? Always cheese. Was it spending the day in Zurich with Claudia? Definitely. Was it the hotel that we stayed at, at the airport the final night? Probably as well. It just made everything so easy. And being on the trains, it was just so easy. It was great. I will say the part of the train ride back was a little bit not great, but I don't know. Everything was great and I miss it. And so we'll see. Jordana, one of my friends, is there. She's not in Zurich. She's in Switzerland though. And I was just like, you're in Switzerland, I can tell. And I just but then I saw it was kind of cold and I was like, oh, I don't want that. But then there were these goats and I was like, oh, look at those goats though. It just, something about it. For sure, something about it. So I don't know. We'll see. It's also very expensive. So expensive trip. The flight there is expensive. The housing isn't bad if you go with a bunch of people, which means we have to ask some people and then it won't be bad. Otherwise, it's expensive too. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. As always, I'm big grateful that you folks listen to my ramblings and you message me about it. And that's really cool. So thank you for that. If the spirit moves you, check out the other podcast, ChatGPT Curious. And I'll catch you next Monday. Until next time, friends, Maestro.